Good morning, traders. I messed up yesterday. My account is severely depleted, so I've got to be a really good boy today or I want to be in trouble. We just took that London low. I really don't know if I want to get involved this early. We are opening with a gap down here. And taking the low and filling that gap is a very high possibility. But I really can't gamble in these accounts because I'm down so far. I really seriously need to wait for a reversal pattern to occur. Now we are below this 4-hour low from yesterday afternoon when we were in all that chop. So a push back up, if we could get a good reversal signal, would be nice. Just looking at that opening candle, it looks like we're going to be dealing with a lot of volatility today. 63 points on that opening candle over here. So it's not quite as large, but it's yes. It's only 8. That's not bad. And it's already pushing to settlement without taking the low. So you can see right now they're a little bit decoupled. Took both of the lows. This one didn't take its low. This happened the other day where it was the opposite. ES wasn't taking its high, pre-market high, and then we ended up going up all day long. When the big number came out, we pushed up here. And we didn't take that high. We do have relative equal highs up there. And, oh no, this is just the afternoon high. Let's look at that real quick. 4 hour, we'll do RTH only. There we go. So it's just this little high here. It's not the big one, not the relative equals. I'm gonna change that. So I know what I'm looking at from the big look. Okay, so that'll give us a better idea what we're dealing with. The same with ES, it's not the big one, it's not the big guy. It's yesterday's afternoon high, which we got up there and we just didn't want to go any higher. We just chopped and chopped and chopped. Well, pre-market already took it. Did open with that gap down, already filled it. We just chopped around here all afternoon, that range. Not that big of a range. From here to there is only 21 points. But these will be our relative equals right there. And I believe, not during RTH, this is the one here. NQ took this high when it came up here. ES did not. So price, I've decided, I'm usually thinking, oh, it's going here. It's got, by the end of the month, it's going to go all the way to 23 or whatever. No, I'm not going to think that way. I'm going to just read price action. That's why I'm reading price action, to focus my mind on that. And what do I know about price action? sitting right here today. I know that when lows get taken, we typically go to a high. In this situation, we did not take a low. Over here on NQ, we did take the low, but we're not moving up, not like ES is. We opened below that afternoon range low. That's 102 points. Not much, but this is the whole afternoon range from there to there. Just looking at what we're seeing here, we opened, we ran liquidity. Don't really have a breaker to go off of. Took out a low, and we just kind of hung out. The only thing we could use for a breaker would be the open. Right now, there's no narrative to go off of. And so this is going to be 30 minutes of sitting on my hands until we get a narrative to go off of. If we just end up being just one of those days like it was yesterday where we make a move and that's the move of the day and we never move from, we just go one direction the entire day, well, I guess I'll just try to join that move somewhere. I hope it's not like that. I want the market to return to normal. I was going through, went through several, like I put on a 15-minute chart. I'm not going to trade for the next 30 minutes, so I mean I could even lock out. But I'm going to put on a 15-minute chart, this regular trading hour deal here, and I'll just tell you what I'm talking about. When I first started trading, this was a normal day. Some sort of V-shaped reversal happened 70% of the time. That's what normal was right there. And if you go through here looking for how many normal days where we've had a V-shaped reversal type day like that, I mean, there's one here. This is all last week, but we weren't seeing that before last week. This one was a straight down and then kind of consolidate, but we did have a little reversal there. This one was a V-shaped reversal. Good. That's not bad. Not bad. This one pretty much directional and consolidate. Not much. And this one directional, consolidate. This one was kind of a V shape. You know, it's kind of like chop, and then fall out of bed and pull back a little. That one probably had a reversal there at the end of the day. This one did have a V-shaped reversal, but it was accompanied with a consolidation at the bottom for a good long while. Looks like an hour and a half of just chopping around at the bottom. And then we went up, didn't take the highs, chopped around at the top, fell back out of bed. So in both cases, we didn't have anything clean on the reversal pattern. You could have found one in there, but they weren't clean. And then of course yesterday, fall out of bed, or Thursday, fall out of bed. Friday, go straight back up. Yesterday, go straight back up. So the V-shaped reversals that are supposed to happen 70% of the time are not happening as frequently as before. We're seeing a lot of directional days. This is a relatively normal day right here. I think, unless it's 2 days. Oh yeah, that's 2 days. So that's down and that's straight up. This one has one, but it's choppy. This was not bad. When you get down there and then you just consolidate in high resistance all the way back up, that's very hard to trade. Directional. Whatever that is. Crap day. Directional. Looks like we had a consolidation for 3.5, 4 hours before it happened. Very difficult trading. It's not normal like this here. Make sure that's just one day. Yeah, that's just one day. That's what we want to see. V-shaped reversals. In order to trade the style of trading I do, which is a reversal trader, we need to go to a afternoon high or low or morning high or low, something that occurred during the New York session, and the 4-hour time frame shows you the morning and afternoon high and low. And just 2 4-hour candles makes the whole afternoon session, morning and afternoon session. So ICT's plan is we take one of those. There's sell side liquidity, buy side liquidity. We take one of those, and then we're either going to reverse there and go back to the other one, or at least halfway to it, or we're not. And so that's an area where you have high probability trades available to you. Getting in the middle of those and expecting them to go to one of them, like right now, I mean, it looks like we're going to go take this one. And you could get short right here. But we haven't run any liquidity there. The big number looks like it touched it. No, that's no. The pre-market high did go above it. So we could technically work off of that because that is New York session. And this is a lower high. This is a fair value gap beneath the order block. But you would be reaching, you would be trying to find a trade rather than letting a trade come to you. Now ES opened with a gap down, NQ opened with a gap down and has made no effort to fill it. So from that regard, this is looking like another directional day, which is exactly what I want to see. I want to see us fall out of bed. Now we have fair value gap, fair value gap, fair value gap. There's 3 in a row. It's just going straight down. But we're at 8:43. In this first 30 minutes, it can rip all the way back up here in one candle. I've seen it happen too many times. If this ends up being the beginning of a down move that just goes all day long, which I would not be a bit surprised. If it is, I'm gonna do we'll do a 15-minute candle. This is all of yesterday's move, and we've already taken back half of it. I was really surprised we took back 75% of this move in 2 days because it was such a huge move, but we did it. First 30, if I'm being good, I'm going over in my head my trading plan. What do I look for? Well, I look for a 4-hour high or low to get taken. I look for the last up close or down close candle, the breaker, to be respected and a fair value gap moving away from it also being respected. And then during this first 30 minutes, I mark out the first presentation fair value gap. First 15 is done and we're still going down. So our very first fair value gap, let's see if we can find one. It's actually this one right here. I don't think any of those made a fair value gap. No, they didn't. it looks like we're just missing out. We're going to miss the entire day move just by sitting here with on our hands for the first 30 minutes. But that is one of ICT's concepts that he says, let the first 30 minutes play out so you can get a narrative. And so sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. There's other teachings he does where he says that during that first 30 minutes, this gap has a 70% chance of filling at least halfway. And so sometimes I try to catch that trade. Right now we've taken this low, NQ's just ripping lower. Looking like a directional day to the downside. Pushed past 6,700 and didn't even take a breath. I'm gonna look over here and see if I can talk myself into a trade here. I just want to see how we performed with this high. Oh yeah, we left that one. So where would our breaker be in this situation if we were playing off of one? It would be this one right here. Right there. The last down close candle before the run up right there. And over here, our fair value gap to push through it is this one. Immediately after is that one. We haven't even given an opportunity to enter this move. So it's a sit on your hands type of environment anyway. And NQ did not even attempt to go up. Interesting price action here heading into Thanksgiving. From a regular trading hours only perspective, this is our breaker. It's not that much different, but still no opportunity to enter. Once we got the fair value gap, we did come back, but we try to get a fill right here. So didn't happen. But we did take that pre-market high right there and took that 4 hour, left it over here. I feel like I'm missing the entire move of the day. There's a lot of points going by. Fair value gap, fair value gap, fair value gap. I just kind of want to jump in with one and just pray. It looks like we're heading here, but it's kind of late to jump in and pray. I might be willing to jump in and pray on a combine. I started one of those new combines that don't have an activation fee yesterday. Actually traded it a little bit last night, but I was just taking little scalps with one micro. So we pushed down to the 80 level. That's a psych level for ES. I might try to join this down move. But how high is it going? Can anybody tell me how high it's going? Where is it going to stop? And we got fair value gaps all the way. We got this green candle here. We get in at round number, it goes to that green candle, you're stopped out. Where do you get in? It starts looking like it's going to go back down. Is that where we get in? Well, if we get in there and it does start working its way down and then starts going back up again, and you're stopped out. It's just ambiguity. If you look at this as a range, like from that blue line all the way down to this red line as a range, we're right in the middle of it. And you don't want to buy at the middle of the range. You can gamble in the middle of the range. If it was to come back up here and touch this breaker right here, the opening candle, and reject off of it back to the downside, that would look all right. That would be okay. Eight minutes left in the opening range. Do we have any news coming out? We got the core CPI, PPI. I did expect some movement due to that. Pending home sales coming out at 9, 7 minutes away. Richmond Manufacturing Index, both medium impact news drivers. That's going to stir the pot a bit. So not just wait until 9, but we need to wait till that number processes, and so that could take 5 or 10 minutes. Could be interesting. With that push in Q to take out that high and back to settlement. Midnight open. I did not mark midnight open over here. Need to go back to EXT for that. I don't know, I haven't ever marked midnight open before. I just started doing it because ICT says it's important. Not exactly sure why, but it is to him important, and I've heard Tanya mention it whenever she's taking a trade. I need to find out why he thinks it's so important. But when she's taking a trade, before she takes the trade, she'll say stuff like, oh, where's the midnight open? And then, okay. So I don't know exactly what it holds. There it is right there. That's the open. A little off. But it's important for some reason. And yesterday, I can show you RTH yesterday. This looks like it's reversing right here. No, it may go take the high of this green candle and fall out of bed. I don't know. Should we take a chance before the news? Okay, this right here, this dip right here yesterday, I'm going to show you. I'm going to just go back to EXT first, and I'm going to mark the midnight open. It'll be right around here. Right there. I'll just put a brand new line there. I'm going to delete it right away anyway. Right there. I think we're on it. At 12 a.m. So it's a little lower. That's the open right there. And then you go to that candle in the morning, regular trading hours. And that's right where, when we pulled back in ES, that's right where it went to. Touch that, and then here we go. NQ did not get close to its midnight open. It went, this was the top of its fair value gap when it pushed down. The first presentation fair value gap. So, I don't know if it really holds any weight, but it definitely respected that. I don't know if there's like a rule about we're trading above the midnight open and, you know, it's bullish, trading below it, bearish. I don't know what the, but we definitely wicked into it there. So I just started marking it out just to see how price is reacting to it, see if I can get some sort of an idea. I don't know if it's really worth having on the chart or not, but I'm gonna put it on there. So I got it on there today. This is actually the first fair value gap, so it needs to be gray, not colored. This is our breaker. That's the open right here, NY open. We're right back to it. Interesting, why did we stop where we did? See, what if I would have anticipated and said I'm going to try to join this down move? What if I said this is the breaker and we're going to respect it and fall out of bed? The opening range candle could be the breaker for sure. But it's 8 points over here, 60 points over here. 2 minutes till the news comes out. Let's find NQ's first pres. I should label this one as such. Looks like it's this one. Now, reversal patterns that I go off of, this would be the breaker. We're just now to it. We do have one fair value gap above it, but we would really be getting in at the top of the range, and once again haven't had an opportunity to enter, because we'd be entering at this fair value gap and we wouldn't have had an opportunity. Since we already took all these levels, I'm gonna clean the chart up a little bit here. We are back to the first pres. London low's been taken, pre-low's been taken. This has already been taken. Don't really need it on there anymore. So we went back to midnight open and first pres. So far, are they going to respect that? First presentation fair value gap over here was a reject point. That news is just now coming out. That 30-minute candle over here. That's actually the opening range high and low. that we have now. And that is important for some reason too. You know, I'm going to short it. I'm going to shorten that so it's not clogging up the screen with a bunch of words. I'm just going to put OR. So we did wick into that first fair value gap and we're offering lower. But that big number just came out. And we have not taken any significant levels. So to me, I mean, this back to midnight open, first presentation fair value gap, respected, left that high. Still seems a little ambiguous to me. This breaker that we possibly validated, but we did validate it, not respected. So price right now is just wandering aimlessly, not a place where I want to take a high trade rather. That opening range high for ES, there have been significant levels taken, but the market did not react to them as though they were significant. Like pre-market low, for example. It just blew right past it like it wasn't even there. This looks like a good place to enter short to me, but it's right at round number. We have all this. I don't know. Not convinced that we're seeing the move of the day yet. If it would give me an opportunity to enter there, I might try a short there and just try to get down to the NWOG or that. Actually would need to enter the equivalent over here, so it'd be right at 20, yeah, 13. Yeah, it's at 24,713. 24,713. I was on it perfectly. 24,713 even. That'll be a tick above that candle's high there on the NQ right there. And I could enter an ES, but I'm just going to try it right there, just see what happens. I have a feeling it's going to be a smoke fest, and we're going straight back up to that first presentation fair value gap. But I'm out. Don't like this price action at all. This level here is insignificant. Market did not react to it at all. So now we just have this high and this low. From a daily, I think that is the high and the low of the day. No, it isn't. That's the low of the day. This is the low of regular trading hours yesterday, and that's the high of regular trading hours yesterday. Pretty close to it. I think that, no, yeah, that's it. And we haven't taken it. So I'm going to sit on my hands until one of those two get taken. Because really all of this is just middle range play. Fading the extremes of a range. I mean, could you catch a trade there? Yeah, but are you sure that's where we're headed? That 30-minute candle looks like we're going straight up, that wick. And so you would read it the other way, but why did we stop where we did? Why did we stop here? I mean, if you look at that, that kind of looks like a fair value gap that we just painted. Maybe that's why we stopped there. We filled in the fair value gap for the 4-hour chart, and then we started offering higher. Maybe that is it. Maybe we should be looking for a long here. We certainly didn't respect this down move. This is a bullish order block. We made a higher low breaker being revalidated. Big wicks on the 30-minute. Yeah, I like that idea. So maybe we try to enter right here at the breaker. It'd be at 50 even. I'm going to try to buy two. I think I have a $100 stop loss at 50 even. 50. What's the high of that one? 51.50. 51.50 right there. We'll try that, because we have settlement and we have that 4-hour high up there, and if you are going to enter into a range play and say we're going to aim up here, you want to enter below this yellow line, and it's just a tick below it, but that's okay. It looked like we touched it there and it didn't fill me. Yeah, we did. No, not quite touched it. But that's exactly where I would want to enter. Yeah, but I was a little bit high. Or a little bit low, rather. Daggone it. I hate it when I miss a fill like that. Now I want to jump in up there. Dang it. Maybe we'll range here a minute and it'll take this low and fill me. It could work all the way down into this. That's at 38. Would that keep me in the game? That would keep me in the game. But if I got in here and it went to 38, that would not keep me in the game. Come on, get down there and fill me. There we go. Now don't smoke me. I've got 25 points on my stop loss. And you know what? This is a combine. Let's move it down. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's move it down to the low of the day. Holy shit, that's 621 points. I can't do that. I can't do that. This is already way, way more than I expected to move. It was supposed to respect this. I'm gonna give it, say it's just gonna take that wick and pop right back up. I'm gonna leave it just for just a second, because that was way more than I expected that pullback to be. And we do have these relative equal highs, but I am not willing to risk $600 on this trade at all. So if it doesn't bounce right here, I'm out. NQ is so freaking difficult to trade right now. Just a little pullback like that. Yeah, I'm out. Screw that. All of my stuff that I messed around with last night, gone. Because of that candle right there. Look at that candle. $72 freaking points. Okay? 2 micros, 140 bucks, gone like that. That happened in a second. It wasn't like, oh, you got time to think about this. It was just a rip. This is that move. You didn't have time to think about that. And it still may be a valid trade. I'm done with that section of I'm going to be a good boy now, because I just lost, I think I lost 140. I'm down 44 bucks. I was up 100 starting the day. Down 44 bucks already. That's why I am really gun shy about trading NQ. That's a rip. That's not cool, in my opinion. Okay, so really we're still kind of in that. I mean, you could argue we took that one. You could argue we took the pre-market lows, London low, and then we stopped at that fair value gap thingy when we filled it. And then now we could possibly offer higher. You could definitely argue a point for that. This would be our breaker in that situation on both indexes. And we went down, made a higher low. And then now we appear to be pushing higher, but then we put a 72-point freaking candle back to the downside to run a little liquidity here. So this is our fair value gap we're working off of? Maybe. No. Ambiguity. Can't do it. Can't take that trade. I can't. You can. I'm not. 1 micro, 140. 2 micros, 140 bucks. And blink of an eye. It's trash. You know, if I lose the breaker and I only look at this big run up and I think, where would we pull back? That's where I was thinking we'd pull back. If there's no breaker involved. Because that's a fair value gap to the upside. But I would think that we would come pull back to that and then go take this high. But we're not. Not yet. But we definitely did respect this fair value gap. And over here on NQ, if we're going to be pulling back to something, that's a fair value gap. We take that low. That would be where I would normally enter if we weren't. the breaker is not something it's keying off of. So we need to get rid of it. It's not really it's not what we're keying off of at all. Maybe this order block here and this fair value gap here is what we're keying off of. And so then we came and got that fair value gap. Now we're going to offer higher, possibly. NQ did not, ES did not take that same wick. So that would be a possibility. I'm going to give it about 15 minutes to shake out. I think we're probably going to push up to these highs on ES, and that would take us back to settlement, maybe. No, we're a million miles from settlement over here. I don't know. I feel like it's ambiguous right now. We're right in the middle of the opening range. Above the halfway point on ES, dead center on NQ. It's ambiguous. At best. I would have been okay to hold that trade, but really, if you look at it, it did not get back to my entry. Well, out there's my entry. after that 72-point rip lower, if I would have held it just a little bit longer, it would have gotten back to my entry. And I wouldn't be down $100. I could at least be at break even. I should have done one micro. I might have been able to withstand the 100-point dip. If I would have done that in my XFA, that would have annihilated it. It would be gone. Apologize for all the hacking and coughing, folks. But I definitely have a cold of some sort. Well, what looked promising really didn't. I mean, we really haven't had much movement that we could get involved with. We had a push down that did not have a retrace to the fair value gap. We came to this one, left that high, indicating we may revisit, and then we went into chop fest. One could argue that we have that. We've taken the pre-market low, London low, and we have this fair value gap to the upside that would lend to more upside, which stalled before we took those highs, and now here we are stalling out. We just worked into this fair value gap right with that candle, and so taking a long from there, expecting it to take those highs, that might be a trade that you could get involved with. I think it's going to take this high up here eventually, and NQ is going to work to settlement. I mean, that's just what the price action looks like. It looks like it's setting up that way. That's exactly what it's doing. I'm going to try to get in at round number to the upside here. Could pull back to this, possibly. So I've got to be willing to endure that much drawdown, round number. $805 there. I think that's the low. 804. surely it'll be. I'm gonna do it at 803. There we go. All right. So now I have to give it some wiggle room, and it's $100. It's a combine. I need to give it some wiggle room at least down to this one. Man, that's all the way 58. It's $182. And we're just bouncing off the middle of that first presentation, but I think this is the move. I think this is the move to at least here. And that should bring NQ to at least 24.9, maybe settlement, if it outruns it. Could be just wanting that 30-minute high right there. We are not moving. See what ES is looking like. Man, look at that 30-minute candle. 30-minute trash all night long. I think ES is well above its 30-minute high. It's inverted its fair value gap. This could be a spanking. Having to put $200 on 2 freaking micros, I don't like that idea. But that's what I got to do if I'm going to stay in this trade or short it. It's going. It's going to my stop. Jiminy Christmas. Bad entry. Still left that high right there. I guess I could put $5,000 stop on 2 micros. Maybe I could stay in the game then. This is a done trade. It is at least coming down to that volume imbalance, probably the bottom of this range. Uncertainty. So ES came down, bounced off the New York Open, and now it's going back up to its settlement. All I see here is ambiguity. I feel like we're going higher, but I can't really say yes because of this rip. It's 803 I get in. And it's using this as a barrier. That's the read I get. It's just very hard to stay in an NQ position because of the pullback. I don't know how you could endure that with a mini. I really don't. from that high to that low with a mini, and I mean, that's a decent entry we got there. 65 points. $650 with a mini you would have had to endure, not knowing if it was going any lower, and still we don't know. Still we don't know. ES is just bouncing off a settlement. That's all it's doing. NQ is not even flirted with settlement. I've got to get out of this. Hopefully I can get out with a little profit, but I'm willing to kill it right now. I mean, looking at the PD array, we got respecting this one. Still have that volume imbalance below, which you can include into this. And that would be a blue guy. But definitely I got a bad entry. Thought I had a good one, but nope. I thought we would respect this fair value gap. And now what do you get out and try to get back in? If I do that, I'm gonna do it. Either way, I'm gonna do it. And what do we try to get back in at 80? Because ES is just right there at settlement. Do we go from here? Probably. It's a big freaking probably. So how about we do this? We demand it take this before we even get interested in getting into another trade. How about we just do that? And we just forget about any points that we could grab here, because it literally could rip all the way down to the bottom of that range. It's just too ambiguous. Low probability. Likely to happen? Yes, but low probability. This would have been a good trade. Right there. This one and this one would have been a decent trade. That's all saying upside, but I missed both of those. Now you could try a momentum trade here possibly, but both of those PD arrays being respected is saying upside. So getting in here would have been great. Getting in here would have been great. Getting in here, not so great. Not so great. Maybe since ES is not ripping from that high to that low, that's 10 points. On one ES, that would be $50. Two would be 100. And we did respect this. So far. We could try a range trade, getting in at the bottom of this range. For a bounce back up if we take that wick. We could try that. But that's also right at the middle of the first presentation fair value gap, so we may not get filled. About to take opening range high. There we go. Pre-market high. Good, good. Now can we get a reversal pattern? That's what I want to see. Or we could possibly invert this guy and continue higher. I want to see a reversal pattern here. Maybe a pullback to here. I'm just not going to catch a trade today, I don't guess. That'd be 20 points of drawdown if I got in there and it came to the center of this. $42. Top of it 36. Center 22. I'll try that. 36. Right at the top of this. Because that would be volume imbalance here. We got volume imbalances forming on both sides of this thing. And we took the afternoon high. Why would I be looking for another long after we took the afternoon high? Because NQ hasn't. The likelihood of ES going to 50 is there, and we have this 4 hour up here. Trying to join a move in progress when he didn't get in at the bottom. But we are stair stepping up, so like this. We can get filled. All right, we're filled. Now, can we respect this guy? Son of a B word. I expected middle. I did not expect bottom. Look at this. $100. Gone again. It's going all the way back to settlement. Son of a... Do you think it's easy joining these moves? No. No. Now we got a breaker here. I think I'm going to just trade ES. I'm going to leave NQ alone. And I'm going to buy this pullback over here. I'm nearing my max loss for the day. 131 in the hole. I shouldn't be looking for anything but sell side right now. The only reason I'd be looking for buy is because NQ has not even made it back to settlement. So the first presentation fair value gap means nothing right now on NQ for sure. So if we're looking only in terms of reversal patterns, which I am short on the month, this is our breaker. We did take an afternoon high. We pulled away with two fair value gaps. Now three. Kind of looks like a liquidity run. And that's a lot of points already. The breaker is here. I'm not going to mark it out. The base is pretty much the center of this first presentation fair value gap. Came back to midnight open again. Will this be respected? Or were we just taking the bottom of this range? I think we were just taking the bottom of that range. I'm going to try to get in right here at settlement for a run to the upside. I'm going to buy two right here at settlement. No, I'm not. I'm going to do this one. I'm just going to get in right there. And I might get spanked again. I should not be looking for a long here. But based on NQ going to settlement, I'm going to try it. Because this, to me, looks like a run on that liquidity right there. And we respected the first presentation fair value gap with candle bodies. Back to the 12 a.m. open. High or low. We could take these. I'll get spanked again if we do. If we do, I'll just reverse it and try to catch a move that way. I've already almost stopped out over here. Already. Very volatile. This was a trade I was in earlier, same spot, and we were dipping down here earlier. I remember, and I killed it. I don't like it. Don't like it. It should have bounced right there. I'm taking it off. We'll probably get back to round number, but we could rip 150 points lower that quick in NQ. I'm liking the possibility of validating this breaker and offering lower. We took that high. NQ did not at all. But if we ignore NQ and we just look at price action here, we just took a high. This is a significant level, yesterday's afternoon high, and we pulled back. And now we're getting beneath a breaker, but we have not yet validated the breaker. We don't have a fair value gap beneath it yet. So we need to see that shift in market structure. I think I'm just going to get my butt handed to me on every trade I take, just like I have been. But this structure is beginning to look like downside structure. And I've got to follow the chart. I can't really base all of my decisions on ES based on what NQ is doing, because they're not the same contract. And just looking at that, we did take a high. Back to the New York Open here. Still no fair value gap. That's all. When a breaker fails to validate, it's as good as one that's validated to the upside. Will this one fail to validate? We don't know yet. We don't freaking know. This is back above my entry over here now. But we came all the way down here first. It would have definitely stopped me out. Unless you put a $200 stop loss on one micro, you're getting stopped out. We left that low, but we came back to the New York Open. Now we've ripped higher, 10 points. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what I said I was gonna do earlier. That's a fair value gap to the upside forming. I'm gonna buy 4 of these bad boys, and I'm gonna try to get in at settlement, or possibly here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to even get in. Why do we leave that low? I can't do it. I can't do it. Everything We took the low over here. And we've already ripped higher from there to there, like 70 points. So I would be taking a continuation trade at the high, essentially. "15 seconds, there's a breaker. My gut tells me leave this alone. And I've already tried a couple. I'm in the hole. This just doesn't look like the spot that the market said, that's it. That's as high as I wanted to go. And now I'm going the other way. It does not look like that spot. It looks like it could go higher. It also looks like it could go lower. If I'm just trading NQ, I'm thinking, yeah, it could go higher. But it also could go lower. So this is as much as I hate to say it, it's a leave it alone trade. It's just not putting up a clean reversal signal at all. I'm gonna try. I know all these things are here, but I'm just gonna try hiding all these lines for a minute and just look at price action. And we'll bump it up to a 5-minute chart. That's what we got for RTH. Opening candle here. We push down. Kind of did a little bit of high resistance up and down, up and down. We've taken the highs from yesterday. Put up a bearish 5-minute candle. Center point of that candle is 33. That's the one. That's what I need to look at. 33 and also 38. Okay, we'll delete that, and we'll hide these suckers again, and we'll just watch price action for a minute. Let's look at NQ. Same deal. 5 minutes. Opened with a gap down. Chop City, we're going up, but it's high resistance. We did not take the high of the day. None of this says let's jump into a trade when you look at a higher time frame. 15-minute. Relative equal lows on the 5-minute chart sitting there untaken. Any fair value gaps on the 5-minute chart? Well, we got one on the way down. Over here, nothing. Big range, lots of points there. 278 points. So to me, the only logical place to enter if we're going higher would be here. If we're going lower, Only thing I can use for going lower is the breaker. And the breaker is right here, failed to validate. And right here, failed to validate. No, none of this is saying we found our top and now we want to go back to settlement, or we found our bottom and now we want to go back to settlement. None of this is saying that. We're at 10 o'clock. That's basically 11 New York time, 10 o'clock Texas. Nothing, no trades have really, I mean, anything that I could say, oh yeah, those fair value gaps down there, those were my entries. Those were definitely my entries. For upside, and I missed them, as I typically do. And so now, because we've taken this high, those highs, the only thing reasonable to do is take a short. So where could we take a short? I would think above these 5-minute highs right here would be the only place that you could reasonably take a short. Or possibly above that high. Since the opening, we pushed down here to that low. Why? Don't know. If you look at a higher time frame, it may give us a clue. Yeah, there was a fair value gap to the upside. We took that 1 hour low and ripped straight back up. We took those highs. Now we're offering lower, but not very aggressively. I'm going to err on the side of we're going to go take these lows. And I'm going to try to get in right there at the top of that 1 minute candle at 24. I'm going to sell 4 short. Oh, wait a minute, we got filled already. And if I'm going to do 4, I got to risk 200. $50 a contract. Prepare to be smoked. If we don't take those lows, the market's broken. Could have got a better entry. I was saying at the top of those highs would be the best spot, and that would be. Low-hanging fruit right there. Risking 200 to get 165 sounds pretty smart to me. Like 99% sure I'm going to lose this trade. These are really, really difficult conditions for me. I don't know. The best thing to do is stay out of it. Stay out of it. Because this could literally go either way. But lows being taken and highs being taken is very common, especially if we're in a range situation. So this is basically a range play more so than a. I would like to see this breaker validate. But if that happens, we're already down here taking these lows, and then would I trust it? When we took those highs, we did pull back a little ways. These right here, we did pull back, but not violently, not like, oh, that's where every stop in the market was sitting. Now this is a little bit more aggressive move. Go sweep those lows for me. From breaker perspective, if I click it, if I put a line on it right now, it's going to put all of my lines back on. Which I guess I can just do that and just see where we are. We're pushing through the fair value gap again, pushing through settlement again. So these are at New York Open. That's where we touched both of those. And so the breaker would be right there in the middle of all that, basically the center point of the fair value gap right there. We still haven't validated it. Here's a crazy idea. What if we stuck to our trading plan and we did not take a trade until we validated it? The other question is this all we want? Or do we want to offer lower? Do we want to offer down to this red line down here? Do we even want this? Do we just want that low and then that's it? Brand new combine, just started it yesterday. It's a no-fee combine, so if I can get it funded, I got another XFA I can play with. Market appears to be broken. When we took that high there, where's your opportunity to get in to get back to settlement? The only thing you could do there is just put an order at the high and pray you don't get stopped out before it goes back to settlement. This still to me looks like I could lose this trade. I remember when I first started trading, I heard somebody say, I don't know if it was Top Step or somebody else I was listening to. They said the only thing you can control in trading is how much you lose. And I would say that is 100% accurate. You really can't control any of this. All you can do is use your best technical analysis and take the trade and hope for the best. Because should these lows get taken? Yeah, they should. They're relative equal. It's on a 5-minute chart. Should they get taken? Absolutely they should. I mean, they're just right there. Relative equals. We've taken the high here. We've respected the halfway point of that wick there. They should. Absolutely. But they may not. They may not. So Elgato, if you're listening, this is a 5-minute range play right here. You asked me to do a 5-minute range play. I'm going to hide these lines again because they don't seem to be that pertinent. Other than settlement, that's the only one we need today. So we could just take this and then pop right back up and take those. We could blow the bottom out of this range and go all the way to that red line. We could take this one. I'm about ready to go to break even on this, but I would like to get some of my money back. This would get most of it back. Do any of y'all get mad when the market just does this? I used to get really mad. Still do some days. I get mad at myself for missing opportunities. If you really take a look at where my trade location is, I mean, it looked like a good spot when I entered it, but it's not. It's not a good spot. It's right in the dead middle. I think I'm going to get out. If I can get back to my green, I'm going to just get out. Kind of want to get out now. There goes $200 more. The only thing you can control is how much you lose. This one's donezo, guys. Now, what do? You reverse? Nope. Your opportunity to enter long was down here. There's my stop. Let's go on tilt. We're right there at the halfway point of this guy. Uh-oh. I hit it. Well, I'm glad my tilt saved me. I can't believe that. I don't know how to trade anymore, guys. Y'all need to quit watching me.